You know, there's something to be said for being a pioneer. I don't remember what it is, but when it comes to Michigan wine, you're about to meet one.
The Leelanau Peninsula is known for its many wineries and vineyards, and more are opening up all the time. But if you want to find Boskydel Vineyards, you got to wander off the beaten path a bit. It's not what you'd call fancy or schmancy. You won't find big elaborate signs or luxurious tasting rooms, but what you will find is the man and the boys who got it all started. Jim and Andy Rink grew up tending to barrels, bottles, and bushels of grapes, and they did it all to help their fathers and now their own dream become a legacy.
I was actually here 25 years ago. I'm going to ask your dad if he remembers me, but I was here 25 years ago. This is the first Michigan winery I ever went to. And walking in here today, it looks exactly the same as it did 25 years ago.
But I look the same too, right?
Oh, exactly the same, yeah. But is it true your dad started this winery just to keep you guys out of trouble?
Well, that's his story. We actually had a baseball diamond just down the hill and a tree house. And, you know, we loved going out and playing baseball, you know, and then one day he said, you know, I just got to plow that under. He said, and I said, why? He said, well, we're going to plant grapes. So I thought, okay, whatever, go ahead, plow away. So he planted a 1 acre test vineyard, 30 different varieties, to see what would work and at that stage it was amateur, home winemaking.
Well, that was back in 1965 when nobody was even thinking about growing grapes in this area.
Correct. It was him, and then there was Bob Herbst. He was a retired chemistry professor from MSU over by Good Harbor, and he had about an acre or so also home for home winemaking purposes. But then he must have been watching us one day, watching too many cartoons. You know, first it was the baseball diamond, then cartoons had to go. So he thought, well, I got 4 plus 5 boys, you know.
I was too young. I didn't get to enjoy the baseball diamond because I was like 6, and they were playing baseball. I wasn't allowed to participate, so it doesn't really bother me.
Never even had a chance to play baseball.
So your dad saw a chance to turn you guys into economic assets.
Exactly.
Instead of liabilities, in his words.
Instead of wine picker or grape pickers and...
Instead of nose pickers. So, you know, I was maybe 10, and we, you know, just started planting more and more grapes. It was endless, and then we opened. Well, the first commercial vineyard was 1970, and then we opened the tasting room here in 1976.
Well, a lot of the wineries have gotten chic, and the wine prices have gone up, and they've gotten. You guys are still rustic, real, and you guys make, what do you say, real wine for real people?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's a good way to
affordable. That, you know, you can afford to drink wine with dinner, as opposed to, you know, when it's a little pricier, it's hard to afford that as a, you know, as a wine drinker, just an average wine drinker. Good wine, it doesn't have to be fancy or expensive.
Exactly. You guys have done it right. You've stayed real. You've got a clientele that's very loyal to you. And I mean, look, even I came back.
That's one of the benefits of being small. You can have a nice, loyal following of people who come year after year and buy a case or two, and that's, you know, really how we survive.
Not only was Boskydel the first vineyard on the peninsula, it was actually the very first Michigan vineyard I ever went to. And even back then, Bernie Rink was the man.
Bernie, I was in here 25 years ago. Do you remember me?
No.
Oh, I thought you might say that, but you made quite an impression on me. You really did. You asked me what the heck I wanted, and I said, well, I'm here to drink wine. You said, well, you came to the right place. And you made such an impression, I thought, you know, if I ever have a TV show, I'm going to come back. So here I am.
I'm a little less abrasive now.
No, well, thank goodness, because I'm sensitive. So is it true? So you turned your son's ball diamond into your field of dreams?
In a sense.
I mean, you were the first guy in this area to actually plant wine grapes. What inspired you? What got you interested in wine grapes?
Well, I worked at the college, but every time I sat next to my wife on the couch, we had another son. After the 4th one, we burned the couch. But along came Andy, number 5.
Yeah.
Then I realized I had to do something, as you say, to put him to bed tired at night, keep him out of trouble.
You also realized it wasn't really the couch.
And learned some values they don't get in school. And it worked. They're all good men now.
You know, you must be proud, though.
Oh, very.
Because you helped start the whole wine movement up here.
Well, that's secondary. Getting men out of boys is primary.
You know, I think the wine had more to do with you having 5 boys than the couch.
Yeah, probably.
After all these years, finally coming back to Boskydel made me realize that it's more than just about the wine. It's about family, tradition, and chasing your dreams.
Many people come in here that haven't been here for 15 years, and I just tell them, were you sick? Because anybody that doesn't show up once a year is either sick or dead, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it took me, I apologize, it took me 25 years, but I didn't have a TV show, so.
Well, that's not a good excuse.
You're right, I apologize. Darn it.
There's a lot of great wine out there, but there's only one Bernie Rink, and to him, I tip my glass.
Under the Radar Michigan is brought to you in part by the Michigan State Housing Development Authority.